Shining Ones, skills on a platform. Well, this is the weekly oracle read for our fire signs: Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. All right. Fire signs. I just shuffle the cards. This what comes out for you for the oracle read for this week. All right. The tree of life is the energy you should focus on for this week. Fire signs. All right. Let's get into it. Now, the tree of life contains 10 planes of existence or influence that connect all life, each called a Sephiroth. The tree of life can be seen as a sort of model demonstrating how the divine descends to this realm or realm, okay? It also shows paths through which we, in this realm, can return to unity with the divine through removal of obstacles that limit our consciousness. Okay? Now, fire signs. Let's get into this. Okay? Touch on this. The tree of life can be seen as a sort of model demonstrating how the divine descended into this realm. Okay? And it all ties in with our earth oracle reading, and even it ties in with the water oracle reading. So, fire signs, you may be prominent fire in your chart. Typically, we all have, if not all, but at least 2 to 3 of the elements within our chart. So the other oracle reads will possibly resonate with you. All right. Everything's tied in, whether we believe it or not, some way, shape, or form. All right. Everything's connected. Let's get into it. Demonstrating how the divine descends into the realm. It also shows paths through which we, in this realm, can return to unity with the divine through removal of obstacles and that limits our consciousness. So there's certain things that we can engage in, right? That could elevate us or lower us. And that could be even spiritually and even physically, right? Certain activities that we entertain are these activities elevating you? Are these activities taking you to become one with the divine? Is something that you're doing, activity that you're into, limiting your consciousness or accessing the higher consciousness, right? That Christ consciousness. See, people look at the Christ as a person, right? That picture that we've been brought up from since children as the creator or Jesus, right? And they kind of pedestalize that as the access to the higher consciousness, right? But in actuality, the access to higher consciousness is within yourself. See, that symbol, the tree of life, represents the body, different aspects of the body, right? Now, being that it represents the body, as above, so below. It's all tied in. Listen, do some research too on top of this, right? And I know I don't get much views, but this is for the people who actually listen and watch the video, right? This is for you guys. Because I feel like when it's all said and done, and I know that if I'm just reaching a few people, a couple people, it's all good, right? Because the few of you who watch this and take this information in, I know that you can take this information to others and help others with it as well. Maybe I'm not meant to have a large platform, But if I can get this information out to a few people, and maybe you guys pass it along to others, it's all good with me. I'm cool. I'm cool with it, right? I don't really care about somebody taking my information and going giving it to someone else, because at the end of the day, you know, I may meant to drop a seed for just a couple people, and those people may take it out to the world. But I ultimately still did my job. So that's the beautiful part about it, right? I'm always going to get paid. I'm always going to get taken care of by the divine, by the Most High, right? By the ascended masters. I'm going to get taken care of. I'm okay. All right? Let's go. The tree of life can be seen as a sort of model demonstrating how the divine descends into this realm. It also shows paths through which we, in this realm, can return to unity with the divine through removal of obstacles and limit our consciousness. Okay? Also, just to kind of give you another aspect of it, right? The image that you see represents the human form, right? You have the above Sephiroth, and you have the lower Sephiroth, right? The lower Sephiroth could represent easily the earth realm. The higher Sephiroth represents the heavenly realms, right? But we're connected, we're one. It's still a reflection of one another. You're not going to have one without the other. You can't have a body without the head. Without the head, it's dead, right? And then you can't have a head without the neck to be able to swivel it, right? So all parts are necessary. Don't negate your higher self. Fire signs. I know a lot of fire signs about action, moving forward, getting it done, right? But it's telling you not to negate your higher self. You're only looking at it at the cup half full, when you just focus on one aspect of yourself. You can't focus on just your spiritual side and not take care of your physical. For example, you must bathe. You must brush your teeth. You must wash your face, right? You must take care of your body, exercise, eat right, or you're going to be imbalanced. And then you can't just focus on just food and your physical body. You need to focus on your spiritual aspects of yourself as well. Meditation, prayer, okay, however you see fit when it comes down to that, right? But nonetheless, we all reap what we sow. So make sure you're sowing good fruit. Let's move on. When this card appears in your reading, you are being asked to expand your consciousness. Expanding your consciousness, fire signs. We need to stop being one-dimensional. Beyond 2 dimensions. 3. We're going into 4, 5, 6, and 7 dimensional realms. We're elevating. And beyond the 7th realm. Beyond the 7th dimension. People are in different levels beyond the 3rd dimension. You're going to get left behind if you're not elevating. First of all, if you're just focused on, getting attention all the time, you're like 2-dimensional, maybe 3-dimensional. You're not elevating. Like you should have been like, okay, I done that, move on, right? Been there, done that, move on. A lot of y'all just stuck in the same place and not going any further. I tend to listen to some readings and things like that, right? From different readers. And I noticed a lot of readers are saying the same things. That's why I decided to fall back off of, readings, because people are getting the same messages and then people are dwelling on the same thing over and over again. It's like, don't you get tired of listening to the same stuff and not trying to learn something new? Then you complain about things not changing because you're not changing. You're doing the same stuff over and over again, expecting better results. It's not going to happen. Period. Let's move on. So this symbol's telling you to expand your consciousness, okay? You focus too highly on materials, fire signs, and must balance it with emotional, mental, and spiritual levels of consciousness. Now, this is go for our fire signs. There's a possibility that you are focused more on material gains than anything else. Then you're probably wondering why it's not quite going the way you'd like it to go. Elevate, focus more on the higher consciousness. Once again, focusing more on emotional, mental, and spiritual levels of consciousness and balancing out with your physical. If I just was to get up every day and just pray every day and I don't tend to my physical body, anyone for that matter, you're going to start to stink after a while. Wallowing in your, yeah, you're spiritually connected, but then it's like, go bathe. You can probably tolerate yourself more, right? Just an example. Now, there's people that may not have that means to bathe all the time. I get it. That's fine. But nonetheless, you should be focusing. I tell people, listen, if that's the case, go get a gym membership. You can bathe at the gym anytime. Gym membership costs $10 a month. I know even if you're living in, you're so-called homeless, right? You're living in the street, you can always go to the gym. When I was in a position, years ago where I wasn't quite where I would like it to be, I always used to go get gym membership, and that's how I used to always bathe and stay fresh. Go get me a lock at the gym. Give me a membership, $10-15 a month or less, right? Get me a locker, and I just put, certain things in the locker at the gym, right? Easy, simple, very inexpensive. Anyone can do that. So, tend to not only to your flesh, but tend to your spiritual side of yourself as well. So this is and I encourage you fire signs to go watch the earth and water sign reading as well, because it all ties in and correlates. All right, let's go. It says, how you nurtured yourself lately. How are you nurturing yourself lately? Okay, that's the question asked. Right? So you must nurture yourself, all aspects of yourself. This card tells you that it is time to expand your own consciousness, start a new project, take up a hobby, working with your spiritual. This is strictly for our fire signs. Focus on your spiritual too on this particular read. Now, once again, it's definitely correlates with the other readings as well. So definitely watch the other ones. All possibilities are open to you. The truth, intuition are being provided to you by the higher self. I can't stress it enough. This definitely ties in with the other readings. So watch the other readings because you have more than just fire in your chart. Fire signs, okay? Higher self. Higher self, lower self. Micro, macro. As above, so below. Okay? That, you think about the commercial back in the days with the angel and the devil and one shoulder and the other, right? Angel's telling you, don't do that. The devil's like, don't listen to that. And you go do it, right? And then next thing you know what? You have to pay for the decisions that you make. Whether you make good decisions or bad decisions, you must pay for those decisions. Now, the ideal thing to do is to focus more on the spiritual side of things, because nothing in the physical was manifested without a spiritual thought first. It was nothing in the physical that you see before you. Nothing. There is nothing in the physical that you see before you that was not a thought that came from spirit first. You can crystallize your life the way you'd like it to be in the physical by focusing on your spiritual side. Now, there's definitely going to have some work that you need to do on the physical side, but nonetheless, it originates from source spirit. The macro. Then it comes into the micro in your existence. We're creators, whether you know it or not. We're gods on earth. They're talking about God somewhere in the sky. Where are they? No, the God's sitting right in front of your face. The men and women you see every day are the gods and goddesses on this planet, right? And then we're running around here disrespecting one another. You can turn around disrespecting God. You disrespect your brother and your sister, you disrespecting God. Let's keep it real. Then you wonder why you're not happy, because you run around here disrespecting God, your brothers and your sisters. Let's go. Start a new project, take up a hobby, working with the spiritual. All possibilities are open to you. The truth and intuition are being provided to you by the higher self. Everything that you seek is within you. The scriptures teach that you don't need no man to teach you anything, because the answers is within. Now, you can seek guidance from other people who may be more knowledgeable than you. There's nothing wrong with that. But essentially, there's going to be a point where you don't need that teacher anymore. You can move on with the information and build on it on your own. That's why certain students, even in martial arts, a student will reach a certain plateau and level, then the master will release the student and say, there's nothing more I can teach you. Go on your journey, take what I've learned, I've taught you, and build on it. That comes where it says you don't need no one to teach you, because you can take a martial arts skill and you can literally, there's places where you can learn to do that in your comfort of your own home, if you're disciplined enough. It's always good to have somebody to actually show you something, right? But you don't really need it. Let's go. And the inverted, this card means, when this card appears inverted, you are focusing too much on the past and future and not enough on the most important time, now. So if you noticing that things are, or if you're more focused on your past and future, right? If you're just focusing more on your past and future, fire signs, focus on trying to stop doing that. Not saying to forget it, but you want to focus more on the now. Because, for example, if you're in a certain position, let's say work, or even you're running a company, you're not thinking about sales from yesterday. I mean, yeah, it's already on the books, but you're not thinking about yesterday's sales. You're thinking about getting your sales today, right? Today is what's up. That's already done with. I can't get no more sales for the past. Now I can focus. Today's a new day. Today is a brand new day to focus on improving my sales, the company's sales, right? Pushing sales, driving sales. Just an example. I say that because that's what I do, right? Focus on pushing and driving sales, right? So that's what you should be focused on. Okay? Focus on the now. Don't tell you to forget about the past, and don't forget about the past. Think about your future, but focus on the now, especially when you're trying to accomplish certain things. Right? But yeah, that is for our fire signs. I'm gonna cut it off there. Fire signs, peace.